And they put out signature Caitlin Clark balls and other merch that literally sold out within minutes of them going live.
All right, imagine this. You're Angel Wilson, reigning MVP, a basketball beast, and the face of the WNBA for years. You've put in the work, dominated the game, and earned your spot at the top. But then bam, Nike starts rolling out the red carpet for Caitlin Clark, the new kid with a killer three-point shot and a fan base that treats her like basketball royalty. And just like that, the spotlight shifts. Now here's where it gets juicy. Nike's been dropping Caitlin Clark merch that's selling out faster than concert tickets. I mean, we're talking plain black t-shirts flying off the shelves in minutes. Meanwhile, Angel's gear, it's collecting dust like that treadmill you swore you'd use after New Year's. And Angel? Oh, she's not holding back. She's calling it like she sees it, and the drama is spicy. Fans are picking sides faster than a game of dodgeball. Some say Caitlin is the future, relatable, marketable, and exciting to watch. Others argue Angel has earned that spot and deserves more love from Nike.
Angel Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment? And why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why exactly? Why when Angel was releasing a shoe were we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Either way, this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about money, fame, and who's got the star power to sell out arenas and sneakers. But let's be real, this rivalry isn't bad for the WNBA. If anything, it's making people talk, tweet, and tune in like never before.
Angel Wilson is the best player in the league. Well, she has come out and she has made some more comments, and it is like these players just don't want these new fans, even though the new fans are the ones that drive the revenue, plain and simple.
Whether you're Team Angel or Team Caitlin, one thing's for sure. The drama is hotter than a mid-season buzzer beater. So what's the deal? Is Nike just chasing the money? Is Angel right to feel snubbed? Or is Caitlin Clark really the future of women's basketball? Stick around, because we're breaking down every play, every quote, and every petty Instagram comment. Grab your popcorn, this is going to be good. Before we jump into the good stuff, take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. By joining our crew, you'll always be in the loop with the latest WNBA updates, expert takes, and breakdowns of big moves just like this. Don't miss out, we've got every angle covered. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive right in. Nike recently turned the hype dial up to 11 for Caitlin Clark, rolling out custom merchandise, signature shoes, and promotional campaigns that'd make even LeBron James raise an eyebrow. The result? Sellouts across the board. A black t-shirt with Clark's name on it disappeared faster than free pizza at a college party, and that's saying something. Meanwhile, Wilson's gear is collecting more dust than a treadmill in January. Fans couldn't help but notice the stark contrast, and the debate took off like wildfire. It's not just shirts either. Clark's fan base has snapped up her branded basketballs, Infinity Tour golf shoes, and even posters, literally anything with her name on it. One fan reportedly camped out overnight to get a Clark jersey, and social media is flooded with people showing off their newly acquired merch. Nike's marketing machine has leaned into Clark's momentum, and the numbers are speaking volumes. Angel's response?
It's noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have to say.
Let's just say she's not exactly sending Caitlin a fruit basket. Wilson has voiced her frustration, and fans are split. Some back Angel, saying her consistent excellence deserves the same hype. Others are all aboard the Caitlin Clark hype train, yelling, "Move over, Angel, there's a new sheriff in town!" Clark's rapid rise to stardom has created a seismic shift, not just for Nike, but for the entire WNBA. The league, which has long struggled with capturing mainstream attention, is suddenly front and center. With Clark in the picture, that narrative is beginning to change. Her electric play style and undeniable star power are drawing in new viewers, and Nike is making sure to capitalize on that momentum. This shift isn't just about selling products, it's about creating a movement. Clark's appeal reaches beyond basketball, tapping into a younger audience that's hungry for representation and inspiration. Her merch sells out not because it's trendy, but because fans feel like they're buying a piece of history. Nike is seizing the moment, and the ripple effect is undeniable. Meanwhile, Angel's frustration is palpable, and the divide among fans only adds fuel to the fire. Clark's rise isn't just impressive, it's meteoric. She's not only redefining what it means to be a young star in the WNBA, but also pulling in fans who didn't even know the league existed. Her secret sauce? She's a showstopper. Whether she's hitting logo threes, threading perfect assists, or firing up her teammates with pure energy, Clark plays with a swagger that screams, "You can't miss this." And fans don't. Her appeal extends beyond the court, too. She's relatable, fun, and connects with people on a personal level. Social media loves her, brands adore her, and Nike, well, they're betting big on her being the face of women's basketball. It's not just about her incredible stats, it's about her ability to inspire. Whether she's cracking jokes in interviews or sharing glimpses of her training on Instagram, Clark's down-to-earth personality keeps her followers hooked. And her fan base? It's growing faster than any three-point record she's set. Not only that, but Clark's ability to engage with younger fans has created a ripple effect, drawing attention to the WNBA from demographics that were previously untapped. High school players look up to her as proof that women's basketball has serious star power, while casual sports fans tune in just to see what all the fuss is about. She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. She's the crossover star women's basketball needed, reaching people who might have never considered watching a game before. Clark's charisma is evident in every interview and social media post. Fans feel like they know her, and that connection translates into loyalty. One viral clip of her hitting a ridiculous buzzer beater had Twitter exploding with hashtags like #ClarkEffect and #NextGenStar. This is exactly what brands like Nike look for an athlete who can generate buzz, not just during the season, but year-round. Her appeal makes her more than an athlete. She's a cultural figure. Fans don't just see her as a baller, they see her as a movement. And Clark's impact isn't limited to merchandise sales, though those numbers are jaw-dropping. She's also boosting TV ratings and driving attendance at WNBA games.
All the jersey sales numbers, we didn't actually see the actual numbers, but we saw the top jersey sales in the WNBA this season. And A'ja, despite being a third-time MVP, her jersey sales were 5th in the league, even after Kate Martin, who barely saw the court the second half of this season.
Every time she steps on the court, ticket sales spike. Whole arenas fill up with people chanting her name, and social media lights up with fans sharing their experiences. It's not just hype, it's a shift in how people view women's sports. Clark isn't just changing the game, she's redefining it. It's a win-win for the league and Nike, even if it leaves A'ja feeling sidelined. Clark's presence is bringing new energy, new eyes, and new dollars to the WNBA, and that's a revolution in itself. Wilson isn't just some random player, she's the player. A 3-time MVP, she's been the backbone of her team and a pillar for the WNBA. Her resume is bulletproof, filled with championships, accolades, and highlight reel performances that cement her as one of the greatest. But here's the kicker. Success on the court doesn't always translate to marketability, and that's where the frustration starts to bubble over.
Your play on the court doesn't always equate to how many shoes you will sell.
Nike's decision to focus on Clark feels like a slap in the face to Wilson, who's carried the brand's WNBA campaigns for years. It's like training for a marathon, crossing the finish line first, and then realizing someone else is getting the medal because their cheering section was louder. Talk about harsh. Wilson's achievements on the court speak for themselves, but the buzz around Clark has left her feeling sidelined, and she's not staying quiet about it. Wilson's fans are rallying behind her, pointing out that she's more than just a great player, she's a leader, a role model, and a trailblazer for women's sports. They argue that Nike's shift is short-sighted, focusing on quick sales rather than building long-term loyalty. After all, Wilson's impact extends beyond the stat sheet. She's been an ambassador for the game, breaking barriers and paving the way for future stars. But no matter how you slice it, the numbers don't lie, and Clark's merch sales are lighting up the charts. A'ja's frustration isn't just about Nike, though. It's about what Clark's rise represents, a shift in how players are valued in the modern era. For years, A'ja let her game do the talking, trusting that her dominance on the court would be enough to secure her place in the spotlight. But in today's world, talent alone doesn't cut it. Athletes need to be brands, social media influencers, and cultural icons. That's where Clark has the edge and where Wilson finds herself playing catch-up. Adding to the sting is the fact that Wilson has been a model professional. She's never demanded the spotlight, choosing instead to put her head down and work. Now, she's watching as someone else's hype machine overshadows her legacy. And let's be real, that's gotta hurt. It's not just about losing sales. It's about feeling underappreciated for years of hard work and dedication. To make matters worse, the media's focus on Clark has amplified the perception that Wilson's time at the top might be fading. That's far from the truth, but perception is everything in sports. Wilson's career is still peaking, but she's being forced to defend her position in a way that no three-time MVP should have to. For her, this isn't just about Nike, it's about fighting for her legacy. For Nike, this isn't about playing favorites, it's about dollars and cents. Clark's name sells. Her jerseys, shoes, and merch fly off shelves like they've got wings. Wilson's? Not so much. And while that might sting for Aja, Nike's a business, not a charity. At the end of the day, the numbers don't lie and Clark's numbers are soaring. But here's where things get tricky. Nike can't just dump Wilson. She's too good, too respected, and too important to the league. Aja represents consistency and excellence, a cornerstone of the WNBA that Nike can't afford to lose. Instead, they're walking a tightrope, trying to pump up Clark without alienating Wilson entirely. It's like trying to have your cake and eat it too. And let's be honest, Nike is under some serious pressure to get this balancing act right. Good luck with that, Nike. To their credit, Nike is still supporting Wilson with campaigns that highlight her achievements. They're ensuring she remains a prominent figure in their marketing. But the shift in focus is unmistakable. Clark is the face of Nike's future, and that's a bitter pill for Wilson to swallow. Imagine being at the top of your game and suddenly feeling like you're being asked to share the throne, or worse, step aside. And let's not forget, Nike's decision is about more than just merchandise. It's about positioning themselves as a brand that's in touch with what fans want. Clark's appeal spans generations, and her story resonates with younger audiences. She's relatable, exciting, and represents the future of the sport. Nike knows they need to stay ahead of the curve, and Clark's crossover appeal has the potential to bring the WNBA to heights it's never seen before. They're betting big on her, and they're willing to invest heavily in that vision, even if it means making tough decisions along the way. And here's the thing, this isn't just about sales, it's about branding. Nike is trying to capture the zeitgeist, the energy of a younger, more dynamic audience. They see Clark as a lightning rod for attention, someone who can bring in new fans and keep them engaged. For Nike, it's about building not just a moment, but a movement. And while Aja's legacy is secure, Clark's rise represents an opportunity they just can't pass up. Social media is having a field day with this drama. Some fans are shouting, Aja deserves better, while others are busy refreshing Nike's site for Clark's next merch drop. One viral tweet even joked, Clark's t-shirts sell out in minutes, Wilson's don't sell out, period. Savage, right? The internet thrives on drama like this, and this rivalry is no exception. But not everyone's laughing. Wilson's diehard supporters see this as downright disrespectful. They argue that the league's best player deserves the league's best promotion. They're flooding comment sections and starting hashtags like #JusticeForRaja to make their voices heard. Meanwhile, Clark's fans are clapping back, saying marketability is part of the game. And let's face it right now, Clark is absolutely crushing that side of things. It's a heated back and forth, with no clear winner in sight. This divide is reflective of a larger, more complicated conversation about how women's sports are marketed. Should brands prioritize raw talent, or should they lean into marketability and star power? Ideally, both factors would align perfectly. But as this situation shows, finding that balance is far easier said than done. It's not just about who's better on the court. It's about who can capture the public's imagination. And right now, Clark has the edge. Fans are also debating the long-term implications of Nike's decision. Will Clark's rise to fame overshadow other deserving players, or will it elevate the entire league? Supporters of Clark argue that her star power is bringing much-needed attention to the WNBA, paving the way for other players to benefit. On the flip side, Wilson's camp fears that the league might become too focused on the next big thing, sidelining veterans who've built the foundation for today's success. For now, the spotlight is squarely on Clark, but the ripple effects of her rise are being felt across the WNBA. From increased social media engagement to higher attendance at games, it's clear that Clark's presence is shaking things up. Whether you're Team Aja or Team Caitlin, one thing's for sure, this debate isn't going away anytime soon. And honestly, that might not be such a bad thing. The more people talk about the WNBA, the better it is for everyone involved. This isn't just about two players. It's about the evolution of women's basketball as a whole. The WNBA has been fighting for attention for decades, struggling to find its footing in a sports world dominated by male leagues. Now, thanks to players like Caitlin Clark, the league is getting the recognition it deserves. Clark isn't just a rising star. She's a phenomenon, pulling in new eyes, new sponsors, and new energy. That's a massive win for the WNBA, even if it doesn't feel like it for Wilson right now. Clark's popularity is doing more than selling jerseys. It's reshaping the way fans engage with women's basketball. Younger viewers are tuning in, sponsors are seeing untapped potential, and entire arenas are filling up for games. This new wave of attention is lifting the league as a whole, but with growth comes challenges. The stars of the WNBA, both veterans and newcomers, now face the tricky waters of fame, jealousy, and competition. And let's be honest, handling all that while staying focused on the game is no easy feat. Welcome to the big leagues indeed. Beyond the stats and the headlines, this moment highlights the undeniable power of personality in sports. Fans aren't just buying jerseys or tickets. They're buying into stories, into connections, into charisma. They want to feel like they're part of something bigger, and Clark's rise is giving them that in spades. Her story isn't just inspiring, it's magnetic. It's the kind of narrative that brands like Nike dream about, and it's reshaping how we think about marketability in women's sports. Meanwhile, Wilson's situation shows the harsh reality of being a veteran in a league that's still evolving. She's done everything right, dominated on the court, carried her team, and represented the WNBA with class. Yet the spotlight seems to be shifting to younger, flashier players. It's not about who's better, it's about who can capture the public's imagination. If Wilson wants to stay in the conversation, she'll need to adapt. That might mean finding new ways to connect with fans or rethinking her personal brand. After all, the game isn't just played on the court anymore, it's played online, in interviews, and in the minds of fans. And that's a wrap. Whether you're rooting for Angel Wilson to reclaim her spot as Nike's top star, or hyped to see Caitlin Clark usher in a new era for the WNBA, there's no denying one thing. This drama is making women's basketball the talk of the town. At the end of the day, this isn't just about jerseys, sneakers, or even MVP trophies. It's about a league finally getting the spotlight it deserves. The WNBA is growing, evolving, and let's face it, thriving on all this attention. Fans are more engaged than ever, and these heated debates, they're proof that people care, and that's what really matters. So, are you Team Aja, Team Caitlin, or just here for the good vibes and great basketball? Let us know in the comments because we want to hear your take. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more juicy updates, expert breakdowns, and the latest on all your favorite players. Hit that notification bell too, because if you thought this was dramatic, you haven't seen anything yet. See you next time, basketball fan.